And welcome back to the channel, guys. So we are in the, let's call it an engine room. The reason why it's engine room, because there's loads of engines in this room. And finally, after 2 months, we will be putting back together the R32. Loads of people was asking like what's going on with it. Well, nothing was going on with it. First of all, one piston wasn't in good condition, so we have a piston replaced, and I was away. So the guys didn't do anything with the engine because we want to film it for you and for the owner. And currently the situation is everything is back from the machine shop. So engine block, cylinder head is fully down, skimmed, the valves were brushed in, the sails were clean and everything. And currently we have everything hopefully ready for it. Again, most of the parts are genuine. So this is from OEM Parts, Slovakia. The only thing what we're not using genuines are the mine and bearings because we couldn't get them genuine anymore. So these are race bearings. The Conrod ones are still genuine. So everything what we can get genuine, we try to use genuine parts. And of course, everything what's on the table here gotta be put on the engine. Crankshaft, clean, polish ready to go on, and everything what's on this trolley gotta go onto the engine. So because we're building the engine and we're using different bearings as well, we want to make sure everything is in a correct way. So we gotta check the clearance on the mine and bearings and Conrod bearings. So first of all, we will put everything back together as a bottom end. We will measure it. We will see what's the clearance, and then we gotta continue with everything what you see behind me. So let's get to it. Okay guys, so we put the spray jets in, and currently it's a bit of a like different what we used to on the V8s and stuff, because they are inserted directly in the block, and the oil pressure feed is literally going to the spray jet and is lubricating the piston and cooling down the combustion chamber along with the piston and everything, and also spreading the oil around the piston rings. So a bit of a different concept what we used to from the V8s, but yeah, they are in and we can continue.
Já to držím takhle, v pohodě, a musíme to tam manévrovat, musíme to natočit úplně, že přešlo tady máme, tady je to dobrý, tady je to dobrý, tady.
Okay guys, so the crankshaft is in the block. Obviously right now we have to put the bottom caps on. We will lubricate the whole crank a bit, and we will be measuring the clearance. So do it with or without lubricant is a bit of a question of if it's going to be the right direction to do it, but I don't think the oil will do as much as so the clearance will be different like with or without the oil. So as soon as it will be pressed together, the stick we'll be using to measure the clearance should be accurate. Okay guys, so we did use the plastic gauge, special tool. We checked all of them. They are pretty much equally squeezed, 0.050 millimeter, which I think is good. Now the question of with oil, without oil, measuring it, it's like if you're gonna squeeze something, when you have the clearance, it will still have the same clearance. So I think the measurement what we've done is correct, and I think we can continue. So next up we will have to measure the Conrod bearings, and we have to clean up the whole thing and assemble it. Okay guys, so what we've been doing now, we put the piston ring, the top one, and as you can see, the piston is under angle because it's a VR6 engine. These two surfaces gotta be lined up with the cylinder head. So we tried to put it in a straight line how the piston ring will be in the block, and now we're just gonna have to measure the piston ring up. Je to viac. 33. Málo. 35. Stále málo. Okay guys, so right now we're measuring cylinder number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 probably. And we try different measurements, but the best which will fit is 0.33 millimeter. So the manual says it should be between 0.20 to 0.40. We are 300 of a mil above the limit, but the only thing what was done to the block, it was honed, clean and skimmed. So basically I think it will be fine. It's not like over the limit way too much. And we're gonna measure the second piston ring up, and then we will be putting them directly onto the piston which is going onto the liner. Stop. Okay guys, so we put the second ring onto the cylinder number 5, and we already tried 0.46, that is not going in. So the largest I can fit in is actually 0.381. So that is in the spec, so we are happy with that. This piston ring is actually with a smaller gap, but it's in the spec, so we will put them on the piston and we will check the other ones. Okay guys, so we measure the piston ring on cylinder number 4. Again, we have the same reading, so 0.432. So both of the cylinders have the same measurements. So we can put the piston ring number 2, the middle one. We will check it and we will continue. Dobre, takže tu nám máme 0,381. Takže znova sme v rozmedzi medzi 0,20 a 0,40, takže to máme fajn. Okay guys, so we measure all the piston rings. The piston rings are already on the piston, so right now we're gonna turn the block around again. We will assemble the crankshaft, probably forever, with new bolts. And then we will be inserting the pistons one by one. We will be attaching them onto the crankshaft, and hopefully the clearance will be fine. If the clearance will be in spec, we will completely tighten with new bolts, and then we will continue.
Dalších 45.
90. Okay, so that was the last one. Everything is tight again, measured again. The engine is still turning, which is good. It is turning a bit harder. There's too much lubricant, which is sticky. So I think next up, we can do the cylinder head probably. When I'm looking at it, should be fine to do. So we gotta clean it up a bit, get it ready. And then we're gonna do the bottom, like oil pump and the sump and everything. So I think the best thing will be if we will put this cover on first and then the sump. So that's the plan. Okay, so we have piston number 1 in cylinder number 1. So far it's spinning freely, which is good. So we measure it, we've got 0.50 clearance. And new bolts, of course, 30 Newton meters, 90 degrees, all tight. Lubricate the bolts a bit, and I think we can continue to the other one. Okay, so we have in number 4, which is the opposite piston. Reason why, because it's going like one by one next to each other. And I don't know why I told you 0.50 on the first one and the clearance was 0.38. So the first one was 0.38, number 4 is 0.38, so both of them are the same. We are happy with that. The engine is turning still, which is amazing. And we're gonna continue with the other one. Čo sa bože niekto povie, že... Future reference. (038) And we are turning the engine again. It is still turning, which is always a good sign because engine should be turning. And yeah, again, 0.38 clearance, which is good. Again, new bolts. Everything is in place. Everything have like slight movement. And we can continue on to the other one.
Máš.
Je to malinký rozdiel. Dobre, s tým dokážem žiť. Okay, so we put another one in, and the engine is still turning, which is good. It is going a bit harder because there's more resistance and we're using the assembly loop, which is really sticky. But generally we are happy with it. Everything has a slight play, which is good. It's not seizing up, which is amazing. And yeah, we have 2 left. So let's finish it off. Keep. Attach it. And we're spinning the engine again. Spin, spin, spinny, spin. So it is going harder and harder because there's more and more resistance, but still spinning, which is good. We have last one to come in. So yeah, let's get it done. Cheers. Okay, so that was the last one. Everything is tight again, measured again. The engine is still turning, which is good. It is turning a bit harder. There's too much lubricant, which is sticky. So I think next up, we can do the cylinder head probably. When I'm looking at it, should be fine to do. So we gotta clean it up a bit, get it ready. And then we're gonna do the bottom, like oil pump and the sump and everything. So I think best thing will be if we will put this cover on first and then the sump. So that's the plan.
Vidím to tady, jsem tady na něm. Já mám všechny tady napřed, no. Děkujeme.
Asi stop. tam ide takto, že rovno, len sa to bude
Jo. Jednotce.
Okay, so everything is on there. The camshafts are in a timing position. Everything was tied to the Newton meter spec. And I think next up we will probably continue with the bottom of the engine. So oil pump, oil sump, and just make the engine ready from the bottom, because we have to put it on the table. Reason why: the engine needs to be on something flat, because the crankshaft is sticking out a bit, as you can see. Not good. And we want to do the timing, so timing chains, brackets and everything. And there's a holder, so we gotta take that off and we will continue with the timing. So yeah, also a quick note regarding the conrod bearings on these engines. If you're using the Ginian ones, according to the catalog, there are red ones and yellow ones. So the red ones should go to the top, close to the piston, and the yellow one are the bottom ones. So if you're using aftermarket ones, I believe the thickness will be all the same. So yeah, let's continue with the bottom. So we have a bit of a change of a plan, guys. We put the engine on the table, so the crankshaft is actually lying and is no weight on it. And we have to do the timing now. So reason why we skipped the process of putting the oil pump on: I don't have a gasket for it. Don't know why, I have to order it. So next up, timing chains, brackets, tensioners, the oil bridge, camshaft adjusters. Let's get to it. Okay guys, so the timing is done again, not the 3.2 timing. This one the engine is out, but yeah, same old, same old. So basically again, same situation. We have the crankshaft which is grinded over here in between the cup and the engine block, so that's lining fine. Also we have this mark lining up with the line behind it. Yes. And also, if we will go further up, we have two camshaft adjusters, which actually, they're not moving. They have like a pin, which is in the cam on both of them. And this is the best position you can be in. So we have an arrow over there. We have a cut over there. And again, we have an arrow over there and we have a cut over there. It's not lining up 100%, it never will. Yeah, we have to make sure that everything is like tensioned with this. You can see already how the chain tried to jump out, so you gotta be really careful that that will not happen when you will assemble it, because you might actually have a tooth out on the exhaust. So you gotta be really careful with that. Otherwise, everything was tied to the Newton meter spec. So right now what we will do, we will degrease everything. We will be putting timing chain covers off, and we have to make sure that nothing will happen especially around here. So let's continue. Okay guys, so we turned the engine a few times, and I must say the timing is probably in the best possible position, well, as it should be actually. So we done a few turns, the crankshaft, we put the pulley on, there is a mark on the crank and on the front of the block, so that's lining up. We also have the cams where the cuts are lining up. Also these marks are on the cup marks and on the intake, so we are happy with that. So all the timing chain covers are on, along with the new gaskets. Everything was tied to the Newton meter spec. We can continue. Next up, we're going to be putting the rocker cover along with the new gaskets, and then probably oil cool and everything what we have here available. So yeah, let's continue. So here we are again, a few days later. So we've been waiting for parts from TPS, especially this coolant pipe, which was damaged on the end. I didn't see it when I was disassembling the engine. Also one gasket for the solenoids for the timing camshaft missing, O-ring for the oil pump, what I mentioned, but I couldn't close it with the oil sump. Also we have new injector O-rings ready to go on. And of course I clean up the oil filter housing. We have a new oil cooler here along with the gasket, and also the oil cooler cup with a gasket. So everything is here hopefully. Right now what we have to do is put the oil cooler onto the housing, and we will be assembling onto the engine. To je MK výrobca pre Audi.
Ano.
And here we are. So I think the bare engine, as you can see, is maximum we can do. In the next video we'll be putting back the flywheel, clutch, we'll be putting the gearbox on along with the transfer box, and I want to put the engine as it is now into the chassis. Reason why we don't put the intake on and everything what is in the shelves for now, because there's lots of connectors, sensors, pipes and hoses gotta go in the front. So I don't want to have everything in the way while the engine as it is will be installed in the vehicle, so we don't break anything or something will get damaged. So I personally think the engine as a bare engine is a very simple engine. There's not many components, many things we need to put on. Of course, it is a bigger engine, but if I have to compare it with like 2008 onwards engines, this is really simple engine. So the bottom end and everything, you just gotta be careful with the bearings, so the red ones and the yellow ones, to put them in the correct way. Tie everything to the Newton meter spec and just build your way up to the cylinder head and timing chains. So the timing is a bit tricky, but nothing what can't be really done. So I think we spent probably what you've seen, maybe 10-11 hours of late putting it back together, measure everything in this condition you see today. And in the next video, like I said, we'll continue putting it back together, put it into the chassis, plug everything back on, try to make it run, and then of course run the engine in, do some test drives and hand the car over back to the owner. So that's all from the video, guys. Thank you for watching. We will see in the next one, probably with the R32 engine and the rest of the car which is outside. And thank you for watching again. Take care for now. See ya.